from Luke Memorial Hospital. Apparently, one of the members of the group H-Town has been injured in a serious accident.
R&B artists in Hollywood have often been shrouded in mysterious circumstances and concealed motives, with their untimely deaths giving rise to numerous conspiracies and speculations. Iconic figures such as Whitney Houston and Michael Jackson have been surrounded by lingering rumors. Similar mysteries have also surrounded the demise of one of the well-known trios, H-Town.
Yo, what up? This is Dino. I'm from Houston, 18. Yo, what up? This is Shazam. I'm from Houston, I'm 18.
Yo, this is G.I., 19.
In the early 1990s, Boyz II Men and Shy dominated the music scene with their soulful harmonies, delivering poignant songs centered around themes of love and heartache. However, the landscape of R&B underwent a significant transformation within a few short years. Jodeci emerged as a game changer, captivating audiences with their bold departure from the norm. Their explicit lyrics, seamlessly infused with a hip-hop vibe, sent shockwaves through the music industry.
Everybody grab somebody, turn mother into.
This pivotal moment in the history of music created the ideal environment for an up-and-coming trio known as H-Town to showcase their talents. As Jodeci redefined the R&B genre, H-Town seized the opportunity to reveal their unique sound and make their mark on the world stage. Catapulted from obscurity and thrust into the limelight, Solomon Shazam Connor, Kevin Dean O'Connor, and Daryl G.I. Jackson ascended to chart-topping success, captivating audiences and igniting the passions of adoring fans. H-Town swiftly rose to become the foremost independent R&B group of their time, leaving an indelible mark on the music scene.
You know, they tend to try to treat you a little different than other groups, but H-Town is really getting their props and everybody's treating us fast, so you know, it's cool. This is a great tour, you know, for the first start off.
However, their ascent to the pinnacle was regrettably short-lived. This narrative unfolds against a backdrop of the shadowy record industry, financial challenges, and the untimely passing of key members. As the story delves deeper, it unveils an explosive revelation that has the potential to startle even the most devoted fans of H-Town. Brothers Shazam and Dino, hailing from the south side of Houston, experienced a formative upbringing. Early on, they found themselves entangled with the wrong crowd, prompting a decision to relocate and live with their grandmother. During this pivotal time, they were exposed to the musical world as their uncles took the stage in an R&B group, leaving an indelible impression on the brothers.
We just finished the H-Town album, you know, so which the H-Town album, my brother, he passed, we had just finished that. Then, you know, I just finished the Shazam album, you know what I'm saying?
Inspired by the performances they witnessed, Shazam and Dino's passion for music blossomed, experimenting with recording their own songs. They made a surprising discovery. Their voices were not just good, but held the potential to resonate with a broader audience. This realization marked the beginning of their journey into the world of music.
Right now, we're in the position of, you know, what album we really want to release first.
During their high school years, fate brought Shazam, Dino, and G.I. together, each harboring aspirations of a music career. However, it wasn't until they converged at a talent audition for producer Philip Blackman that the trio officially united. Under Philip's guidance, with Shazam taking the lead as the vocalist, they collectively adopted the moniker The Gents. Their collaborative efforts led to the release of an album titled It's No Dream in 1990. Despite their dedicated work, the songs failed to gain traction, and the album experienced a setback in terms of public reception. This early setback, however, proved to be a crucial stepping stone in the evolution of the trio.
On a tour, you know, like some tours that, you know, you do is like, you know, they tend that, you know, a new group, you know, they tend to try to treat you a little different than other groups.
Their fortunes took a turn when they crossed paths with a new producer, Bishop Burrell, and enlisted the managerial expertise of Pat Johnson. Pat, who had connections in the industry, including ties with Luke of the Miami hip-hop group 2 Live Crew, played a pivotal role in reshaping the trio's trajectory.
It's like a lot of labels more like, hey, you know, we'll do it, but you got to put another member in the group. And I was just like, you know, I'm not down with that. You know, I really not even sing no more.
In Luke's autobiography, The Book of Luke, he recounted a fateful encounter in Houston. Pat persistently urged Luke to meet with new singers under his management, Shazam, Dino, and G.I. Although initially uninterested, Luke found himself swayed when Pat's determination resulted in him missing his flight back to Miami. This unexpected turn of events led to a meeting that would alter the course of H-Town's musical journey.
Another member in my group right now, and I'm just not ready for that.
In his memoir, Luke vividly recalled his first impressions of the trio, noting that he could immediately discern their economic struggles. Luke recounted how, during their initial meeting, he observed holes in the bottoms of their shoes, a stark indication of their financial hardships. Undeterred Undeterred by their circumstances, the boys began singing for him in their modest living room, leaving Luke thoroughly impressed. Convinced of their talent, Luke made the pivotal decision to sign them to his record label, Luke Records. Subsequently, he flew them out to Miami, where upon their arrival at his home, he noted that the trio came with virtually nothing. Devoid of luggage, they only had the clothes on their backs, underscoring the depth of their dedication to their craft. The obscenity case was extremely far-reaching for hip-hop, Luke says of his pride in the outcome. This case is the one that allows artists to say what they want on their records. In the subsequent week, Luke's commitment to H-Town reached new heights as he purchased a house for them in Miami. This strategic move aimed to provide the trio with a stable base, allowing them to concentrate on crafting an exceptional album. Luke, however, found the name The Gents a bit antiquated, and together they decided on the moniker H-Town as an homage to their hometown of Houston.
If it can't just be me and G.I., then it ain't no deal, you know what I'm saying? So right now, I'm thinking about, dropping the Shazam of the group H-Town.
Their debut album, Fervor for the Flavor, hit the shelves in '93, and its lead single, Knockin' to Boots, swiftly ascended to the #1 spot on the Billboard Hot R&B chart. The album achieved platinum certification, solidifying H-Town's presence in the music industry. Reflecting on their rapid success, Shazam shared with Magic 102.1 that they embarked on a promotional tour immediately after the release, inadvertently underestimating the speed at which Knockin' to Boots had become a sensation.
We're doing this one for all the ladies. H-Town boy.
The realization of their newfound celebrity status hit home when fans started rushing them and tearing down barricades at their shows. Despite the overwhelming popularity and enthusiastic reception, a stark reality set in. H-Town was not reaping the financial rewards commensurate with their fame. The challenges of translating widespread acclaim into financial success added a layer of complexity to their journey in the music industry.
Back when we first started off, we was really big celebrities, right? But we wasn't making any money. Like the label would give us like $160 a week to eat off of.
Facing financial struggles, Shazam resorted to an unconventional method of generating extra income by selling his sweaty clothes and stage-worn undergarments for $100 each. Meanwhile, media outlets, eager to connect with the rising stars of R&B, clamored for interviews with H-Town. During these interviews, Shazam and Dino presented themselves as twins, asserting their age as 18 years old.
And I was like, I'm not down with that, you know what I'm saying? So,
your brother.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? We was getting ready to cut a big deal, but when my brother died.
However, Real Reality Gossip unearthed intriguing information that added a layer of complexity to their public image. Data from the Texas Department of Health, Bureau of Vital Statistics, revealed Solomon, aka Shazam's birthday as December 17th, 1973, confirmed by his arrest records in the state of Texas. Similarly, Dino's date of birth was verified as November 18th, 1974. This revelation meant that, contrary to their claim of being twins, the brothers were actually 11 months apart in age. The decision to present themselves as twins remains unclear, as there is no explicit information on why Shazam and Dino chose to portray themselves this way. Despite the revelation of their actual birth dates, Shazam continues to refer to Dino as his twin on social media and even celebrates Dino's birthday as his own. Post the release of their debut album, H-Town achieved significant milestones in their career. They co-headlined the Coca-Cola Summerfest tour and garnered accolades, winning a Soul Train Award for Best New Artist. These accomplishments further solidified their status in the music industry and added to their growing recognition.
And we want to say this to y'all, peace, give me some good love.
Building on their success, H-Town collaborated with Devontae Swing of Jodeci to record the song Part-Time Lover for the Above the Rim soundtrack. Their journey reached new heights when they had the opportunity to meet Prince, and according to Shazam, the iconic artist expressed being a big fan of their music.
If you ask any artist, the music is a success upon creation. When you give it to somebody like a Rolling Stone or a Vibe and they start critiquing it, then your perception.
As they delved into their second album, the trio negotiated a substantial upfront payment of $500,000. While the label agreed, a significant portion was allocated to pay off the houses the label had purchased for them. Shazam recounted that after settling mortgages, taxes, and various financial obligations, they found themselves back in a precarious financial position. For their next album, Dino took on a more creative role and they released Beggin' After Dark in November 1994, achieving gold certification. The track Emotions reached number 11 on the Billboard chart, and its music video notably featured Dino portraying a character involved in a serious car accident. During this period, Luke had entered into a distribution deal with Relativity Records and its parent company Sony. However, when it was time for everyone to enjoy the success of H-Town's second album, Luke claimed that Sony and Relativity withheld funds, citing reported losses from Luke's previous distributor as the reason. Faced with financial difficulties, Luke and his record company were compelled to file for bankruptcy. Frustrated with the situation, H-Town expressed their discontent with Luke, the label, and the industry at large. As a symbolic gesture, they appeared on Bet's video Soul, Shackled, conveying their sense of being constrained or mistreated within the music business. This move reflected their frustration and disillusionment with the challenges they were facing in the industry.
This is how we feel right now.
Right.
We feel like we should just be convicts in jail, be locked down. And the people that we're dealing with that's behind us, they're not behind us, they try to, destroy our career.
During their appearance on Bet's video Soul with host Donnie Simpson, Shazam and Dino voiced their grievances, asserting that their record company wasn't adequately promoting their sophomore album. The duo expressed their desire to sever ties with their current record contract, making their discontent unmistakably clear. Luke, feeling betrayed, found himself in a situation where rectification seemed impossible. Eventually, H-Town parted ways with Luke Records and inked a deal with Sony Relativity. In a significant turn of events, they not only secured their freedom but also received a compensation of $1 million each and retained 50% of their masters. This marked a turning point, finally ensuring that they received the financial recognition they deserved. Teaming up with Shirley Murdoch and Roger Troutman, H-Town contributed to the soundtrack of the Martin Lawrence film A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Simultaneously, they embarked on the creation of their third album, led by Dino. Under his guidance, they took a more hands-on approach, producing and writing the entire album themselves. Departing from the earlier explicit themes, they delved into more serious issues.
5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just getting...
In 1997, they released Ladies Edition, Woman's World, dedicating the entire album to Nicole Brown Simpson, the ex-wife of O.J. Simpson, who tragically lost her life in '94. This album marked a significant evolution in H-Town's artistic direction and thematic focus. The label expressed dissatisfaction with the contents of H-Town's album, preferring music reminiscent of their earlier hit Knockin' to Boots. In an attempt to find common ground, the group returned to the studio and recorded the track They Like It Slow, a compromise that played a crucial role in helping the album attain gold status. However, instead of continuing to promote the existing album, the label sought to swiftly move on and have the group record an entirely new album. Despite being offered a substantial $2 million deal, Dino rejected the proposal, insisting that the label either promote their current music or risk not getting another album from H-Town.
I got the first single that maybe featured my brother Dino, and then, when I get the right situation, and we're looking at a situation where I may be doing my thing independent.
This stance led to H-Town being officially in breach of their contract. Shazam attempted to persuade Dino to reconsider, but Dino remained steadfast. Feeling that H-Town was being taken advantage of by the music industry, Dino began turning down shows on behalf of the group. This marked a clear assertion of his commitment to their artistic integrity, and a resistance against what he perceived as exploitation by higher powers in the music industry.
And then when we get the right situation for H-Town, then we would drop the H-Town, but then also, we got groups that we're working on, you know what I'm saying?
The group went on hiatus, with G.I. working on projects behind the scenes. Shazam released a solo album titled Bringing the Heat, and Dino pursued his own music. However, Dino faced challenges in the industry as people were hesitant to embrace his new music, which differed significantly from his earlier work with H-Town. This rejection led to Dino isolating himself, withdrawing from the public eye, and falling into a deep depression. With financial difficulties mounting, Dino eventually filed for bankruptcy.
And so, look, I'm in the studio, man. I'm in the studio, but don't believe the stories out that y'all hear, man.
Shazam played a crucial role in bringing Dino back into the spotlight. Convinced that performing in front of their fans would uplift his brother, Shazam persuaded Dino to reunite with H-Town in January '03. The duo performed at various shows, and eventually, Dino approached Shazam for assistance with a song called The Day I Die. Shazam expressed his discomfort with Dino's theme of mortality in the song, but they proceeded nonetheless.
6 pallbearers button in a suit, white.
In an Instagram post, Shazam revealed that Dino had expressed a sense of wariness with the world and was waiting for God to take him. Weeks later, as negotiations for a new contract with Atlantic Records and a 30-day tour were underway, Dino went missing. "We had basically just finished recording our new album and we're getting ready for an H-Town reunion tour," said Shazam Connor. "We really haven't had time to think about what will happen now." His family later discovered that on January 28, 2003, after leaving the recording studio with his pregnant girlfriend Tesha Ray Wissent, their Honda Civic was hit by an SUV that ran a red light. Tesha and their unborn child lost their lives at the scene, while Dino passed away on the way to the hospital. He was 28 years old, leaving behind a young daughter named Kasia from a previous relationship. Following Dino's tragic passing, record labels were hesitant to sign H-Town unless they replaced him with a new member, a proposition Shazam refused. In 2004, Shazam and G.I. released the album Imitations of Life on their own label, including some of Dino's pre-recorded music. They took a break until 2015 when they released the album Child Support. During that year, Shazam faced legal issues related to unpaid child support. In 2017, they released a mixtape called Call Me Mr. Pac-Man, and in 2019, H-Town was inducted into the R&B Hall of Fame. They now perform as a duo, dedicating every show to Dino's memory.
We all also like to thank Luther Campbell and all the groups out there that supported us, Silk and Jodeci, Intro, and everybody else, DRS.
The mid-90s was a magical time to be a fan of R&B music, especially during the year of '93 when you had talented black musicians such as Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Bobby Brown, Janet Jackson, Prince, and many others dominating the charts with chart-topping hits and stellar albums. This was also a flourishing time for R&B groups, which are pretty extinct today, to emerge and branch out into superstardom. Jodeci, when they debuted in the early 90s, brought the bad boy era into R&B with their expletive grooves and hip-hop swagger.
When I look at these groups now and laugh at them, they don't have no direction. They missing love, man. They all missing love. Missing what it's about.
Whereas Jodeci had the streets and also the hip-hop crowd, Boyz II Men, on the other hand, represented more of the grown and sexy side, which is the total opposite of Jodeci. But the beauty of it all was that none of these acts sounded identical. They had their own trademark sound with their own lead singers who stood out indifferently. But in '93, Uncle Luke, who was a rap star in his own group, 2 Live Crew, introduced a young trio who provided the perfect balance of sensitive, heart-melting messages with seductive love-making anthems. This group would be H-Town.
Treat you a little different than other groups, but H-Town is really getting their props and everybody's treating us fast, so it's cool. This is a great tour, for the first start.
The group decided to come together in an attempt at gaining success in the R&B world. Performing in small clubs, venues, and shows throughout the South, they lucked up when Luther Campbell, whom was looking to launch his label Uncle Luke Records, discovered them and signed them to a lucrative deal. It was what the three have dreamed of, and it was a worthy investment for Luke. Luke signing H-Town was a surprise because there were concerns about their image coming to play. Jodeci were already pushing the envelope with their S imagery, and Boyz II Men had the grown and sexy lane as stated earlier. But H-Town, led by the very talented Dino Connor, was talented enough to balance both of their styles and allow H-Town to stay in a league of its own without sounding like carbon copies. This is where Fever for the Flavor was created.
There is something that I need from my baby.
The album had great up-tempo cuts to complement that new Jack flavor that was trending at the time. But it was the album's slow cuts that captivated H-Town into the mainstream within their first album. Luke knew these guys were talented, so he pushed them also to make songs that were gonna appeal to the people who are knocking the boots while making love. Their biggest hit to date, titled Knockin' the Boots, shot up the R&B charts at #1 and turned them into S symbols. Seeing the formula working, Luke continued to have the trio push out 2 other slow baby makers into singles titled Baby I Wanna and Lick You Up. The songs didn't catch wind like Knockin' the Boots, but the album was already successful, so the investment was well paid off. When H-Town started to work on their second album titled Beggin' for Dark, they wanted to take a more serious direction this time around. Their first single, Emotions, would possibly be as deep and personal as Dino would reflect on instances in his life where he felt true love from the time he entered out the womb to where he finds someone he feels very compatible with. It showed that the group was willing to go into a mature route with Beggin' for Dark. But then label pressure, according to the group members in an interview with Donnie Simpson, came to play. The label wanted more S songs reminiscent of their biggest hit, Knockin' the Boots. The group felt conflicted to where they were basically selling out themselves and wanted off the label. Despite the creative differences, Beggin' for Dark was released on November 14, 1994 under displeasure of the group. The majority of the songs on Beggin' for Dark were very S, and it seems at times that the group felt or looked uneasy at performing them.
We got groups that we working on, you know what I'm saying? You know, a couple of girl acts, you know, male acts, you know, Pleasure Park.
Fan perception to the new album was often positive, but the group still felt they sold out to play the game. Fed up with the politics of the music business, the three members were probably one of the first to really come out in natural television and speak out against label politics in a fashion where they would come out like prisoners. Taking a page from Prince, who wrote "Slave on His Cheek" because he felt like a slave to record labels, H-Town took viewers by surprise by pulling this stunt and possibly could have risked being blackballed. The group claimed also that they didn't get a push by the label that they felt was needed in making the record work. After 2 years of grueling negotiations and fighting to get off the label, the group recharged their batteries and claimed to have gone through an unspiritual awakening. They started to pay attention to domestic violence issues that's been happening involving women around the world, and they based their album on that. They started off with a good start with their hit single, A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, a cover of the classic, The Persuaders track, landing on the R&B charts for the first time since Emotions. The album, when released, was met with high regards, with the group taking note on serious issues involving innocent women. This was the album that H-Town really wanted to make and showcase their growth. Tragedy would strike not only H-Town as a group, but also the music world as January 28, 2003, Dino and his girlfriend were killed in an automobile accident. Dino was just leaving the studio and was riding passenger side alongside his girlfriend. The vehicle was suddenly struck headfirst by an SUV running a red light, thus killing Dino and his girlfriend, Tesha Ray Weinson. This is another one of the strange deaths that occurred among the music industry that remains unsolved. The album titled Imitations of Life was released a year later and could have been the album that really brought H-Town back in the forefront. Dino's prowess behind his vocals and his true talent shines throughout, especially on the song The Way I Die, which is eerie considering he died shortly after.
This will be fine on that day.
The remaining group members would continue to soldier along, touring, putting out albums, and collaborating with Jodeci to keep their name and, most importantly, Dino's legacy alive. They may not see big-time success like they did in the 90s, and most likely that's due to the fact that their frontman is deceased. But there's no denying the fact that H-Town would go down as possibly one of the best groups to have done it in such little time. They may have not crossed into the mainstream like many of their peers or won any MTV awards, but fans of true soul music will forever hold their name anonymous as one of the best groups to have ever done it. One of Dino's fans wrote, "It's scary how sometimes people speak their future into reality. Dino was in the hospital from a car wreck in the video. He died from a car wreck. Dino decided to sing Before I Die. Shazam, saying his brother was tired of this world. Shazam created a song about child support and being arrested twice for unpaid child support. R.I.P. Dino. H-Town made great music and will always be part of the greats from the 90s. Another one added, "I remember H-Town in the 90s, their music was truly sensual and seductive. They captured a time when it was a joy to listen to music. It's awful that they went through such injustice and poor treatment. Nothing has changed. May Dino rest in peace. When we all reach our destination, we can enjoy the musical all over again." One more person added, "I thought it was Jagged Edge that were twins. I'm so sorry to hear about the loss of one of the members from each H-Town. When you are in that dark space and struggling with those demons, it could be hard. They went through a very rough patch due to a no-good industry that takes advantage of young kids. They come from poverty and don't know any better anytime. God bless you, young man. I hope all three of y'all are in heaven together." However, people also believe that Dino's ex-girlfriend was also suspicious of Dino's tragic death because she was also dating Joe Rogan. The couple has been together for more than a decade right now, and some details of their past relationships have recently come to light.
Mashed potato, textured banana. I was thinking about, like, there's not another person in this world I would do that for because I love my wife. My wife is an amazing person.
Rogan and Ditzel tied the knot in 2009 after being in a relationship for 8 years. Sources claim they met at a Los Angeles bar in 2001. Jessica was working there as a bartender at the time when she caught Joe's eye instantly. The couple welcomed their first child, Lola, in 2008. Just a year later, they had another daughter named Rosie. That's not all. Rogan has been raising another child with Jessica for a while now. Kaja Rose has been part of the Rogan family for a while now, and she has been raised like one of their own. Many have questioned who her father is, and there's where Jessica's past relationship comes into question.
How many kids?
3.
Okay, so
all daughters too.
Okay.
Oh, you was a hoe in a past life like me.
See?
There you go, Rogan.
I'm telling you, this is parallel universes meeting right now. I swear to God.
Now Jessica Ditzel was in a relationship with Kevin Dino Connor before meeting Rogan. Jessica dated Dino for quite some time before being separated in '98. The former couple even welcomed their daughter Kaja Rose during their relationship in '96. Dino was just 23 years old at the time, but then unfortunately for the singer, he met with a tragic accident in 2003, along with his then-girlfriend Tesha Ray Wysant. Reports at the time claimed that Wysant was driving the car that they were in and they were hit by a black SUV in which 3 men were sitting. It was a hit-and-run accident and all 3 individuals fled the scene right away. One of them, Juan Diaz, was later caught and charged. However, some people still believe that it was a planned hit by his girlfriend. After Connor's death, Rogan adopted Kaja and has been close to her. The commentator has spoken about her to the world in the past. On The Rosie Show, he said, "She's an awesome kid. She's not just a daughter, she's my friend. We worked really hard making sure that we talk to each other as openly as possible, even about boys and weird stuff that she feels uncomfortable talking about." No doubt, it is wholesome to see Joe being there for Kaja, even though he's not her biological father. Rogan has always kept his kids away from the media spotlight, but Rose has been moving forward in her career as a singer. But why has he kept Dino's daughter away from the world? This bothers Dino's fans a lot. One of his fans wrote, "When you speak up against the industry, everything goes downhill. I still believe he was not in an accident. The girlfriend was just collateral damage." Another one added, "Definition shocking and surprising. I don't think his story was publicized enough, but I am glad he had a relationship with God before his untimely death. May God rest his child, her mother, and Dino's soul." One more person penned his emotions as, quote, "I remember my girlfriend and I snuck into a club to see them in Kentucky because we were underage. We got to meet them and they were super nice, but Dino was sloppy drunk and they had to literally carry him out. So sad because he was a sweetheart. R.I.P. Despite all the evidence and proofs, Dino's death is still a mystery because there are many causes that possibly have caused his tragic death.